Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God.
Jessica! I've never been called a fox!
Dana.
That's a classy name for a Harry.
I like it classic.
Okay.
Do you?
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica!
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, great now.
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I am Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young. And
And
we are here to rant and rave.
With my new microphone. I got a new mic. It's on a hook thing. What do you call it? An arm.
An arm extender. I still haven't set mine up.
I don't have to touch it. It just hovers in my lap. I'm not knocking stuff over, and it sounds good.
I'm real happy about it.
I love it. You actually sound great. Like
Thank you.
It's so clear. It's fantastic.
Well, I just have to say, I mean, he's in Hawaii right now and probably couldn't be further from listening to us, but our tech guru, Jay, he
Thank
told
you,
me,
Jay.
Thank you, Jay. He told me exactly what to get. Soup's cheaps, soup's quick, soup's
So
good.
So awesome. I'm glad it was cheap because you know what wasn't cheap? When we came back from being out of town, Alan went to turn on his Mac and it wouldn't turn on.
Oh, God, no.
So he got to buy an entirely brand new computer.
Oh, no. The thing is, there's a part of you that's like excited about it, but then there's a part of you that's like, oh, my stuff is on there. What a pain in the rear. And also, you spend forever, like, people hate my hot corners. I love it. That's what I'm used to. That's what I want. That's what I need. And if I'm on your computer and I go swoosh and my windows don't come up the way I want, I'm like, yeah.
Totally.
So
Yes.
all that stuff is gone when you get a new phone or computer. You have to finish setting all that.
Well, let me tell you, it is first world problems. You would be super jealous because I'm jealous. It's the new, I don't know what any of this is called, but like an iMac where it's all in one. I'm sorry, Dana. It's 11 millimeters thick. That's it. It's on a stand. It is so slim, low profile. It's lightning fast.
Our tech guru Jay also said that you and I both have obsolete cameras in our computers.
We do. I also thought of him because, as you guys will see, the shaking and the pixelation.
Yeah.
My janky, way cheaper than my Mac work laptop.
Yeah.
Now, when I do Zoom on work, perfectly blurs out my background.
Oh.
And that's on a cheap ass PC. But it's clearly newer than my Mac.
Right.
But see, you have the same frustration as me. My computer is still fast and it still works great. It's not like any of my programs or things
You know
don't
what
work.
I need is I need somebody to sit down with me and help me clean out my computer because I don't know what to throw away and what not to. Like, I'm sorry, I'm still in the world of, do I have to keep these DMG packages when I download something? I don't know.
100%.
Maybe a listener will write in and tell me, or Jay will call and be like, Dana.
How to clear the cache. I don't know how to do that.
I know how to do that, but I do it rarely. Ooh.
I don't know how to do it. I just know that my phone, which currently, and this is after a major dump of pictures and files. No, I have 25,000 pictures just in my camera file.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm the same.
And I get an alert and my phone starts overheating. It's an alert from Verizon. It's like, you need to clear the cache. Internal storage is dangerously low. And then I have to go app by app, storage by storage, clear cache by clear cache. I haven't dumped cookies on my computer maybe ever. And I just keep trying to bypass it now.
It would be so much faster if you do.
I know. Now every website's like, we use cookies. Well, I don't want your cookies.
Well, you can say don't allow, and then you won't read their article.
Do they taste like tagalongs? Then you can fill up my computer.
Oh, Jessica, did you see I'm drinking out of one of my fun coffee cups? I know it's invisible to everybody, but there's a flying Abraham Lincoln Ronald McDonald.
Okay, I love that. I love it.
There we go. I mean, there's Michael Jackson, Abraham Lincoln. So my friend Barrick, is an artist, and he went live on TikTok one night.
So
He
good.
had drawn a picture of a tidy-whitey Abraham Lincoln and let people tell him how to dress Abraham Lincoln. So, like, the green sexy M&M, he apologized for that one.
I'm crying.
It's my favorite. I don't know, Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't know why it makes me laugh so
Oh my
hard.
God, the green M&M. Unreal.
So I'm drinking my morning coffee out of it. I thought that might be a fun
Mhm.
thing now since I know we're still people have been messaging me.
Yes.
You keep saying you're gonna put up videos, Dana. Where are they? Am I crazy? Nope, you're not. I am. But Jessica and I made a deal.
Mhm.
It is not her turn to edit this evening.
It's
However,
okay.
she's going to edit so that I will feel guilty enough to sit down and work on the videos. Even Jay messaged me from Hawaii going, "Where are them videos?"
I love him.
He's
We
working, and he's like, "Girl."
I love him. It always takes a friend to give you that boost of confidence.
I
And
mean,
I'm sure
he's
he's
the only
like,
reason we're this far.
okay. And he's like, girl, I love you, but I
But
took the
come
time to
on.
sit down.
That's right. Don't make my time wasted.
Well,
I
let's
will
just put the cat out of the bag. I need to learn how to do it too. We're trying to disperse and share and all that
yeah,
jazz.
yeah. Do you wanna tell people how to get a hold of us? Because, we want you to get a hold of us and tell us everything you want to, and then
Yes.
we also want you to subscribe and review
Hmm.
and share, and the only reason we ask for that is because that's how new listeners find us. It, like,
Correct.
messes with the algorithms and blah, 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 blah,
We
blah.
all know those nasty algorithms.
But
And
we
in
just
case
wanna
you
get
didn't know,
goodness out there.
that's right. They've changed the algorithms yet again.
Oh, they have?
Our friend, a very talented graphic artist and one of the biggest editors and contributors to BuzzFeed, Mr. Kevin McShane.
Oh, yeah.
I love that he he has always done all the right things with social media and he's been at the forefront of doing everything. He
Uh-huh.
started a newsletter for his comics that he draws. He's an incredible animator and artist. And the other day I was crying because he put up a video and it had like a recent comic that he posted that I think was getting 0 views, and he has a lot of followers and used to get a lot of views, and it's just him going like this underneath the comic, and he's, like, trying to mess the algorithm, and I think he did it so that it's like a video to help kinda trigger things, because that's
Oh,
the point we're at, people.
wow. Well, that's just like I posted a picture of myself when I was on my way to that burlesque show the other night,
Yes.
and it was in my stories, and for some reason, several people hearted it, I guess because they were
Mhm.
like, "Oh my god, Dana looks nice," and that's rare these
Oh
days.
my god, shut up.
But I noticed because of that, I ended up with, like, 500 views on my story where I don't sit that high, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, I was like and then, of course, my brain starts going, "Well, you're so ugly all the time." People were like, "Oh my god, we gotta see Dana," you know how your brain does.
Well, we share a brain a lot of the time, and to make you feel 100% better, that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened when I put up a picture of my recent lose of the cinnamon broom when I got my hair cut and colored, and suddenly people just came out of the woodworks.
Well, but that's the thing, when you get a lot of hearts or a lot of comments, then it releases the photo to
I
more
know.
people. So it does make you feel that way. It's not necessarily what
Yes,
your brain's telling
but
you. It's
also how much of a creep do you feel like to have to ask friends? Unless, like, I would ask you. There's a very small handful of people I'd be like, "Can you please go online right now and like the thing I just posted so it gets seen?"
oh
But
god.
what am I supposed to do? Text and I mean this for everyone. Text and ask people on a regular basis, "Can you go on and like my post?" That
But
seems
also
pathetic.
comment.
That seems groveling. But I'll even ask Alan sometimes, I'm like, "Honey," and he goes, "Why are you asking me? I'm so rarely on social media. I am not gonna help boost your algorithm, but I'll do it." I'm like, "Can you just go on? I just posted it. Please like it so
Yeah.
maybe one person will see it."
Mm.
Because I don't see a lot of stuff that I like too. Somebody will be like, "Oh, did you
Well,
see what blah 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 posted?" I'm like,
because are
"No,
you following the Instagram feed or are you following your following feed?
I don't know."
You don't know about this?
Wait, I
So when
don't.
you open up Instagram, I don't
Mhm.
maybe this is boring for our listeners. They may
No, I don't
already
think
know this.
so.
So when you open up Instagram, let me get
Yes.
over there. At the top, like
Mhm.
go to your home.
Yep.
Okay, see where it says Instagram at the top?
Yes.
So click on that little arrow pointing down,
Oh, uh-huh.
following and
It it
favorites.
it has a check mark by following.
Okay. Then that should be just people you follow.
And then all the other billion things I get bombarded with as far as ads and sponsored content of things I don't follow.
I don't know what favorites means.
I don't either.
That's new.
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know, they're
touch it.
always adding so many different things. I don't understand it.
I don't either.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. We just sound old, right?
Ah,
Did you tell people how to get a hold of us?
nope,
Oh my
because
god, that
I'm
was
doing
20
great.
minutes ago. I
It
can't shut up.
guess what? You guys, I have COVID. I didn't tell anyone online, but I'm
I know.
telling our listeners that's the gift you get if you are listening. This is how you can get a hold of us. And don't worry, I'm
Are you
fine.
just literally gonna just leave it at that? I have COVID. I do want to say though, guys, we have been telling you and telling you this is
Breakthrough
not over.
infection.
This is not
Breakthrough.
over.
I'm triple vaxxed, y'all. I got it. And my husband that I was kissing on the mouth, literally the morning I was tested, when
Ew.
I was told, oh, it just sounds like rhinitis. And because you came from a really humid place in Florida back to the dry air of Southern California. Well, newsflash, I demanded a PCR test because the rapid tests are grossly inaccurate. That's not
Yeah.
me deciding that they are. Do your research, talk to some healthcare professionals. All my friends that work in the industry concurred. They're not accurate. And if you're asymptomatic and you have COVID, it's not going to show up on a rapid test. So
Yeah.
there's that. My point of telling you this, and I will shut up and get to telling you how to reach us so we can get on with this show. No one else has it. We were with my family in very close contact for the first time in 3 years because of COVID. That's why we didn't see them. Thought it was safe to see them now. None of them have it. I was petrified that my dad and stepmother got it. I was petrified that my brother and his family may have gotten it and then passed it on to other grandparents and elder relatives. None of the people I saw when I landed, my friend texted me and said, "We're getting some drinks. Come meet us."
Josh
And
DeBose was there?
uh, Sunday, I
Wait,
went.
for real? Josh was there?
Yes. Not in Florida, but he was in LA and we
Oh, I thought
drove.
you meant in Florida. I was like, what
No,
was Josh doing in Florida?
drove from LAX immediately to a beer garden and
Oh
met up with some
no.
friends where we were all sitting this close to each other.
Oh no.
None of them have it. So we don't know how or where I got it. It's really kind of irrelevant. I'm a breakthrough infection. I
Yeah.
am somebody who has a horrific ENT history. I've had my adenoids, tonsils, lymph nodes, you name it, out. I've
Yeah.
had 2 sinus surgeries. I've evaded COVID for 2.5 years and I got fucking COVID and I'm real angry about it, y'all.
I
But this is the
know.
first day I can take air in through my nose again, as best I can with my allergies.
Yeah.
And please be vigilant. Yes, we have to live with this now, but it's not a joke. If you get it, you may be lucky and not have a darn thing, or you may be like me. And I don't remember if I sent you a picture or not, Dana. One night I woke up really discombobulated and I'm like, why do I feel like I'm wet? And I meant like submerged in
Mhm.
water. I went in the bathroom and it looked like I had walked into the shower with my clothes on.
Oh my god.
Soaking wet, not like, oh, sweaty and like a little bit of patches, like could wring my shirt out. And I had to change my sheets and clothes at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
It could be worse, but that's my COVID rant. I'm triple vaxxed and I am a breakthrough infection. My friend that's a nurse practitioner, our friend and listener, Ashley, also did say the amazing part is this is signs that the vaccine works, that A, I'm not hospitalized. I am an asthmatic. My oxygen, thank God, has stayed at 97 and 98. My
Good.
husband bought me a pulse oximeter that I check like every 2 hours. And she said, because all of your friends and family are vaccinated, it's not now passing between all of you. It's protecting them, even though you have a breakthrough infection.
Wow.
So get boosted, y'all, because
Yes.
I reached out to a coworker who I was in an office the size of a shoebox with, unmasked, because we're both vaxxed.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you need to get that booster. They have not yet been
Ay,
boosted.
ay, yes, get it.
So get your booster. Now, I'll shut up for now. I'll tell you how to reach us. Facebook and Instagram at the Rants and Raves podcast. You can find us on Twitter at raves_the. You can send us a direct email like several people did this week at the Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com, or go to the contact button on our website, www.therantsandраvespodcast.com.
Woohoo! Reach out.
And touch
Oh,
someone.
yeah. See, that's how you know when you have a good friend and they just go with you. Remember at Christmas when you walked out of the bathroom stall and just started dancing and singing Mariah Carey with
Yes.
me immediately? That's a friend. That's a friend who
God,
just goes along with your crazy, no questions asked.
that was such an amazing day. We had the best time, and now I'm going to dream about that delicious lunch Dana treated me to. Hands down, the best homemade pasta I've ever had. It
Yum,
was
yum, 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 yum.
butternut squash tortellini and
Oh,
a
so
cream
good.
sauce,
My
and I could
favorite there.
bathe in that right now.
I know, right? But I
Oh,
haven't
God,
lost
that
any
was
weight.
good.
I'm on this weight loss journey of, well, I shouldn't even call it that, like health journey, I guess. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been working out. I've been working out.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't lost a pound in 2 weeks.
It's so frustrating when you plateau, right?
Man,
Uh,
whatever. I'll get over it. Maybe my body just needs to catch up.
yes.
There's a supermodel in here somewhere. I just know it.
Uh-huh.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. Well, are you up first for rants?
I am. This is actually a perfect segue. So, some people wrote to me and said, I can't wait to hear about your trip. And I'm so excited.
Ugh.
I never told you all about my trip. Now, I'll be real short and succinct with it. It was a real whirlwind. So, I will start with saying, I'm not a jerk. I know things can always be worse. Yes.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of mishaps that happened. First of all, we were going to celebrate what should have been a very joyous, beautiful. This is going to be my rant, by the way. This is not an aside.
Okay.
A beautiful, joyous occasion. My niece was to be bat mitzvahed, and 2 days before we left, her grandfather on her mother's side of the family, it's my sister-in-law's father, was on his way walking into a doctor's appointment and slipped and smashed his head and fell into a coma. So very unfortunate is they obviously canceled bat mitzvah because nobody knew what was going to happen. And the day that we arrived, her father unfortunately passed away. So that was a devastating thing to happen
I'm
for
so sorry.
everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. My sister-in-law lost her grandfather 2 months prior.
Oh my
So that's
gosh.
2 major, major losses in a very short period of time.
Yes.
So I felt terrible for them. Our families are all very close. Her family has always included mine in everything they do. We have a much smaller family than them, and they've always been so generous and welcoming to us. And every holiday, every party, every occasion, every birthday, they invite Alan and myself. We cannot usually go because we live on the other side of the country, but they take great care of my dad and my stepmother and always include them. So that was a big derailment and obviously a sad tone to the trip, and rightfully so. Then Alan and I went on our trip, and I will start with the, again, positive and good. We did have a wonderful time. I will let that be known.
Good.
We ended up after the funeral. In Judaism, we sit Shiva, as it's called. It's a period of mourning for the week where you are supposed to reflect on what has happened. Usually, the rabbi will come and join the family and lead some prayers. If people are really traditional with some of their beliefs and customs. We cover clocks and mirrors so that you are unaware of time and so that you're not concerned with appearance. It's supposed to be a time to do nothing but reflect and mourn on the loss of your loved one so that you can then, it doesn't mean, oh, everything's great the next week, but so that you can then begin a journey of healing and moving on, because we all have to move on, right?
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
very sad, but my dad and I talked a lot about this. I visited my late brother at the cemetery. I always go when I'm at my parents'. He's buried there. Sorry, I'm going all over the place, but there's
That's
going to
okay.
be rants and raves within this
Okay.
story. Um, Again, I'm more agnostic. I don't say absolutely there's no God, but I don't believe in God per se. I don't know what I believe. I know there's some things, whatever it is. I do believe in spirituality. I believe in signs. I believe in people being somewhere else when they go, wherever that may be. So every single time that I go to the cemetery, which has never been an easy experience for me, there has been an animal of some sort that has appeared at my brother's grave.
Really?
Every time, whether it was an insect or the time where the most beautiful peacock I've ever seen appeared and screeched as I walked up to his stone. It was very close by. It's been butterflies. There's been a grasshopper. There is a permanent bronze vase at his headstone.
Mhm.
And my dad goes and regularly changes the water and puts fresh flowers. And my dad's kind of like his ritual has always maintained the area around the gravestone.
Mhm.
And one time we went, a frog, I love frogs. And
Yes.
yes, I do have pictures of all of this stuff. A frog leapt out and it leapt out of the vase and was on his headstone looking at me.
Aw.
So for whatever it's worth, I'd like to think that is my brother saying hi,
Hello,
coming
yes.
around. And this time there was, when you see a spider silk, not just like a web, but Dana and I see it in LA because we have
Mhm.
incredible orb weavers and spiders all over the city.
Mhm.
There was silk that looked like a freaking cable. Okay.
Mhm.
And there was a tree quite a ways away from my brother's grave. And I look down, and by God, there's a spider, and the silk is attached from that tree, not anywhere else, but
Mhm.
directly onto his gravestone. So you
Mhm.
may think I'm a weirdo, or you may think that's a nice anecdote. I- I'm just telling you what I believe. And it
Yeah.
really is something that is special to me. And I don't know, it helps. It's very cathartic to me, I guess is what
Yes.
I'm trying to say.
I love that.
So after we had the funeral, we went away for a few days because it was Alan's 50th birthday and we wanted to do
Mhm.
something special. And we have, other than literally taking like a 24-hour trip to wine country 2 hours away for the
Right.
night, we've never gone away solo. Dana can relate to this. When you live out of state, your vacation or your time off is
It's to see
always spent
family.
to see family and
Yeah.
going to other people's tragedies and celebrations. I'm
Correct.
not saying
Yes.
that to be mean.
No.
It's been the 22 years that I've been out here, right?
100%. Yeah.
So I said, look, we're going to be there. Let's extend the trip, because originally, I mean, this is when we were planning it. We were like, okay, we have the bat mitzvah weekend. We'll go away for a few days. Then we'll come back and get like quality time with our niece and nephew after all the hubbub and everything else.
Mhm.
So Alan had never been to the Florida Keys. Y'all, if you haven't been, and I've been talking with our friend and listener, Jen Hall Hill, you gots to go.
Oh, but
Okay.
Florida is such a nightmare, though.
You know what? Not in the Keys.
Okay.
It's like,
'Cause if somebody's like, "Oh my god, did you hear about that guy that ran around the street with
I
his
know,
pants off and then had a machete and
I
called
know.
himself a unicorn and then a horn busted out of his head," and people were like, "Holy fuck," it's gonna be in Florida.
It gets a bad rap. I have a lot of family down there. I looked at a lot of universities there. I wanted to be a marine biologist. My dad took me on a tour of colleges for a week. I opted to not go there purely because of the weather. I'm not joking. I don't think I could handle it. I'll tell you what, though, I suffer from wintertime eczema. And that's a true diagnosis from my dermatologist. My hands turn to chalk and
Yeah,
open and
my
actually
boys
bleed.
do too. Yeah.
I wasn't there 24 hours. I did not put one drop of lotion on my body. My
Oh,
entire body still feels smooth as a baby's ass, Dana.
really? I wonder if I'd look younger in Florida.
You would, because it feels I'm
I
saying
would
anyone.
plump up my wrinkles.
I'm not joking. Even people are like, "You look phenomenal." I'm like, "I'm not wearing makeup. It's called humidity." I'm not
Amazing.
kidding. It gives you that dewy look. It kind of fills everything in. So we went to the Keys. Alan has never been. It's one of my favorite places. It is truly going to a tropical paradise staying within the continental US. Yes, the Keys are islands or a series of these islands stretching down from Miami down. But it's literally an hour and a half from Fort Lauderdale, which is where my parents are, which is north of Miami.
Mhm.
Hour and a half drive. It was nothing. It's a beautiful oversea highway that you take, and it's not scary at all. It's very low above the water.
Mhm.
It's incredible.
Wow.
So we went, we had the best time ever. Now I'll get to the real rant and I'll
Okay.
make it quick.
Okay.
Um, I had planned to go snorkeling, never been in my life. We were 1 mile. We stayed in an amazing resort, 1 mile from the John Pennekamp State Park, which is, hello, a coral reef, like a dream come
Wow.
true.
Did you have the
S-
full face snorkels? I own those.
Well,
You have to get them.
I wish we didn't need to because, okay, we had the snorkeling trip planned. That was also when as I think I mentioned, had planned to have my encounter with a manatee
Right.
or three.
Right.
Um, they had kayaking through the mangroves, snorkeling. There's something called Christ of the Abyss, and it's a statue that was like a concrete
Mhm.
statue that was lowered down in the 60s, and it's of Christ with his arms up like this. It's incredible. Like, I wanted to see all of this.
Sure.
Um, Canceled due to high winds.
No.
So I'm like, all right, I'll take it in. I can go snorkeling somewhere here sometime down the road. It's fine. Alan's number one thing he wanted to do was go fishing. He
Mhm.
loves fishing. He goes as much as he can.
Sometimes he even fishes in bed with you.
Okay.
We never got an
See,
update really on any. I'm sure he was like, "Oh, sorry that
he
I."
got he got rid of it. And I walked in. I forgot to tell you this. That's funny you say that. I walked in and I saw he had his little spectacle readers on, and he was like, I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm separating my hooks and putting them in
Yeah,
the
because
tackle box. I'm like, oh, you are.
for those who didn't hear that episode, Jessica woke up with a fishing hook in her thigh.
Literally. And it was clipping both sides of my pants together in my crotch. I thought I had
Anyway,
a
I derailed you.
stray
I'm
hair
sorry.
or something that had snagged my
Skins.
bottoms.
So did he
My
get to
God.
go fishing?
No.
Oh,
So I
no, 'cause of high
had
winds?
scheduled and paid for
Uh-huh.
a fishing charter that would take us out for 4.5 hours. And then you come back and the restaurant will prepare your fresh catch
Oh.
in one of they have like 6 ways they offer. All are incredible. That was canceled at 8:30 p.m. the night before we were going. I got a call. Hi, this is so and so. I am so sorry for the late notice. We have had to cancel all fishing excursions due to the wind. Now, I'll tell you all this, and this is where we're getting to the last part of my rant. We went to a restaurant that night. We had already been to an amazing place that I had researched and heard rave reviews about. And yes, it was on Triple D. Guy Fieri highly recommended it. So
Okay.
did Bobby Flay. They
Okay.
both said to get the exact same thing at the restaurant, to get whatever the fresh catch of the day was. You've never had better seafood than in the Keys. People catch it and it is on the table hours later. If you like seafood, it's a dream. Getting really worked up here.
Yeah.
So we had the grouper, Matacumbe style,
Okay.
and the smoked fish dip. I wish I could have it on a daily basis.
Mm.
We went to another restaurant on a different key, a key called Isla Morada. We were in Key Largo. If any of you want to go, I'll send you my list of recommendations.
So far, you're not selling great trip.
Now I can't choke. No, the trip was great.
Okay.
Even with all this bad things that happened, it was phenomenal. I got in my bathing suit because of Dana. Talked me into that last year. Thank God she did. Y'all, I'm at my biggest. I didn't want to get in a bathing suit in front of anyone, including my husband. And I threw all caution to the wind. And let me tell you something. I fucking did the backstroke and floated in the inlet of the Gulf of Mexico like a beached whale for 3 days, and I loved every minute of it.
Good.
It was magical. So the second night we were there, after we had this amazing meal the night before, we went to a restaurant that was recommended by a good friend of my dad's, who's also a foodie. So I'm like, oh, Neil recommended it. We're going. He's like, now keep in mind, I've never been, but a friend of mine owns it. The winds were that bad. Okay. It literally felt like a Hemingway novel, and like the palm trees were bent over to the side.
Oh, wow.
We are eating, and all of a sudden, and they had like these huge wraparound porch at a lot of the restaurants. They have those things where they pull down like the sun and wind tarps. Well, it was coming through the cracks. All of a sudden we see this. It's Alan's martini glass.
Oh, no.
Multiple things actually flew off our table while we were eating. But the waiter was the biggest ding dong, and I'm real nice and I'm very forgiving. Maybe don't tell us you've never worked in the restaurant industry before when you're clearly well into your 50s. Okay.
Oh.
Second of all, if you're gonna try to sell someone on something or make it seem like you and or your establishment is great because of XYZ, then you better know what you're saying. So I said, how are the oysters? And he goes, oh, you know what? I don't know a lot about oysters, but the owner of this place, he's a real aficionado. He has taught me so much. I mean, you're not going to believe it, but there's actually 6 or 7 different kinds of oysters. Well, at that point, my face fell flat. He read my face the entire meal. He did not. He was scared of me. I can assure you of that. Because I was not having it. I also decided I didn't need to tell him, buddy, there's 6 or 7 different types of oysters on this key alone. You're an effing idiot.
Jessica!
So I just said, great. Bring me the coldest ones you have, like from the coldest waters, like Pacific Northwest or North Atlantic. Okay, well, this is on me. And this is, I promise you, my rant is coming to an end. Oyster lovers, unite. Oysters are served in a metal bowl, to help keep it cold, and they're served with thick ice, okay? Like, even if it's the flat type of square ice, it's thicker. This came in that rabbit poo crushed pellet ice.
Ooh, I love
big
that.
no-no. I love it too
like
when
the
I'm
crunchy.
at a high school football game and getting a Coke from the concession stand.
Okay.
It came to the table, and Dana, shame on me, okay? Half of that ice was melted, and half of my oysters were submerged in the water. I, A, should have refused it, and B, said, nope, we're not doing the oysters. A, take it back, and B, no, I don't want a replacement. But I was so angry, we were so starving, and my shitty ass cocktail that I had already pushed to the edge of the table, and he walked by and he goes, I go, can I get one of those local beers? He goes, oh, didn't like the planners? I go, does it look like I did?
Jessica!
Yes, I was done with him and his nonsense. I'm leaving out a lot of what happened due to time constraints. We leave, we get back to the hotel. Our resort was no one to be seen at night. I loved it. So Alan and I had the whole freaking resort to ourselves in the evening. They have hammocks in between the palm trees. So every night I'm like, let's grab a couple of drinks or a couple of beers and let's head down to the hammocks and just stare at the stars. Paradise. Okay.
Love it.
So again, even with these things, we didn't care. I'm like, look, all these things were canceled and that dinner was shitty, but we're in paradise. I'm so grateful. I'm not kidding. Like I have perspective. Okay. We're both like, there's far worse places we could be stuck. Right.
Right.
Well, y'all, laying back. Isn't this the life? I literally turned to him and I said, could you ever live here? I think I could. Oh my God. I'm really nauseous. Like out of no. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I flipped out of the hammock
Oh no.
and ran like Nell in the wind. Take a May in the wind. running, clenching my ass like I was trying to get a diamond out of a piece of coal.
Jessica.
And ran thinking that I wouldn't make it to the room. And I don't care how much TMI this is, y'all. Spoiler alert. Have a new skill to add to the special skills section of my resume.
Oh,
you
no.
know what it is?
No.
Pissing out of my ass.
Jessica.
Because that's what I did for the next 12 hours. Okay?
Oh my God.
I know Dana might start dry heaving. I know you're all revolted with me. I know I can be uncouth. And my granny used to always say, you should have gone to finishing school, because she did not like how rough I could be on the edges sometimes. Y'all, I was so violently sick, and shame on me. I am a food snob. There, I finally said it and admitted it. If
What?
I'm a snob for having high standards, then so be it. But I ate those oysters like out of
So I
spite
guess
and
your
anger.
standards aren't that high.
God dang it. Rant over.
Oh my God. I'm not interested in that trip you took at all. It sounds like a real roller coaster.
I didn't post pictures of it because I felt like it was in poor taste because of what was going on with the family. But y'all, it was magical. I'm not kidding you. For me to say with those 2 cancellations and food poisoning that it was still one of the best vacations, like 3 days I ever had, it was. And Dana, I don't even think, did I send you pictures of the iguanas, which are
No.
everywhere?
Mm-mm.
Well, I will. You guys, there's iguanas everywhere. So much so that there's signs all over the resort that said, please do not feed the iguanas. And they just kind of crawl out, stare at you. And then sometimes they sunbathe next to you on you're on a lounge chair. They're right next to you, burrowed back into their holes. I took videos of them. I filled up the storage on my phone again because of
Yeah.
the amount of photos and videos I took of iguanas on the
Yeah.
beach.
My phone is full of flowers and my kid. So I get it.
It was magical. Also,
Awesome.
key lime pie,
That's
never had an
Santa's favorite.
interest. Well, he would have lost his mind if he had the key lime pie from the Fish House, the famed restaurant that we went back to for our third and final night for Alan's birthday dinner. It was outstanding. And I told the waitress, I'm like, it's his birthday. Like, I just said it really quick like that. She goes, I'm really glad you said that. Came back. They brought out a mackerel on a platter with a lit candle in its mouth and sang happy birthday to Alan, snapped his picture, which I thought was just for posterity, and then literally 2 minutes later came back with the picture in a frame for Alan. They're like,
Aw,
happy birthday.
how nice.
It was lovely. Best freaking key lime pie. The meringue looked like Elvis's pompadour. Okay. It was like this. And there's
You are so into food and everything about it. I'm like, put it in my mouth. Now I'm done. Like, I can't, I would never look at a piece of pie and go, it looks like Elvis's pompadour. I would look at a piece of pie and go, and then the experience is over. It's so funny to me.
I wish I could fly that pie to Dan. If he loves it,
He
he would
does.
literally lose his mind.
I went
You
to,
know what?
hmm.
Maybe you could make him one because I bought the Fish House's.
Jessica, stop it. What are you talking? Who are you talking to? I don't cook.
I bought their cookbook and it has their key lime pie recipe in it.
You make it for Dan Simpson. I couldn't even make coffee cookies for
The
his
bet
mug.
the best ever to
I
this
had
day.
to write in icing what the shapes were because you couldn't tell. So it
I'm
just said star,
dead.
lamb.
I think one said T-E-A, or I thought it
Yeah.
said T, but it said stir. I don't know what
I
it
don't
said,
know,
but
but I don't cook. What's wrong? You lost your mind in Florida.
this
You
is
pooped out your
hilarious.
brains with those oysters.
Rant
Well,
over,
all
y'all. I'm
right.
sorry. Thank you for taking me on this indulgence.
Of course. I have a rant from a listener. It is a letter that I'm going to read. It's a little bit long, but that's okay. I love it. Okay, are we
Mhm.
ready?
Yes.
Okay, this is from Sarah. I wanted to provide an update on a rant of mine you did back in early November. These are fun. I like these.
Mhm.
Basics were we were moving. My husband wasn't doing his pull of the work into looking how to start the home buying and selling process. I was frustrated at feeling like the only one that was doing any of the work. Well, here we are. I've lost count months later. We sold our house in Utah first and did a lease back for the Utah home to give us time and money to find a home in Austin. When people say that the Austin housing market is a seller's market, they aren't fucking kidding. There was a lot of exclamation points there. But we were lucky enough to get an offer accepted during our first trip down and officially closed on the house in February. Since then, we finally moved down for good, got the house set up, and we'll be back to fostering kittens so soon. I can't wait. So we have a link to Miles of Fosters. We'll put it in our show notes. I love it. I love it. Communication and responsibilities were still not super great for my husband during the beginning of this whole situation, but I did better at communicating my frustrations and asking what he needed from me. We had a few difficult conversations that I needed to really call him out if I was feeling out of touch on the process or if I needed something more than he was providing. I dealt with the fact that communicating my discomfort was going to cause him sadness or frustration. Our timeline definitely turned out taking longer than I wanted, but since we got a place, it turned out all right. It was really hard throughout the process, but we made it work and we definitely learned how to handle our own and each other's emotions better with something so stressful.
Hmm.
I couldn't imagine having to do all of this with kids involved. We were stressed enough, honestly. I probably would have killed my spouse after the third screw up. Partly due to the Empath book that Dana recommended, I was able to really start finding my voice and learning how to handle the knowledge that my words would feel harsh to him since he goes with the flow and doesn't really push himself. I tried to ensure that I communicate a few times that what I'm bringing up is out of need and not judgment. Not that I think it helps him, but it at least helps me know that I'm trying not to be an asshole. We'll get to be we'll get to be 15 minutes from my sister and her family, and both my husband and I are so excited to finally be done with all of this. Thanks again for reading my rant. Y'all are so giving, and I appreciate how you can bring different views into a situation. I love that so much. That book that she's referring to is a great
Mhm.
book. It's called An Empath's Guide to Survival. And then I would like to mention another book that I can't fully
Yeah.
like say I recommend because I'm just starting it, but so far I'm liking where it's going. Hold on, let me pull up my Audible so I know I'm getting it right. And this was recommended to me by a friend. It's called Fair Play,
Hmm.
and it's by Eve Rodsky. Let me see if I can get some information here.
Is that YVES like Yves Saint Laurent?
No, it's EVE, Eve Rodsky, Rodsky.
Okay.
And this is a game changing solution for when you have too much to do and more life to live. And so
Mm.
basically, what it addresses is fair play, as in fair amounts of responsibility in the household
Mhm.
and how to. It really does. The person who recommended it to me doesn't have children, and she said that it's still helping her. It
Mm.
does deal with having children a lot, but I
Mhm.
think there are, even if you have pets or anything like that, there's gotta be a good division of labor. She talks about
Yes.
becoming the she-fault parent or the she-fault manager, because sometimes
Mhm.
household duties, whether you have a job or not, fall to
Yep.
one partner in the relationship, be it male or female. And
Mhm.
trying to find a healthy balance
Sure.
so that there's not resentment, that you don't feel like an asshole when you're
Yes.
asking for what you need. So
Major.
anyway, if you want to add that to your reading list. So far, I'm really pleased with it. And she says that there needs to be like a list of ways that you can ask for what you need and organization
Mhm.
and all that. And she's like, and me and my girls already did it for you. So I'm
Love
like,
it.
cool. I'll read you. Great.
That's fair. I am gonna read it.
Yeah.
Also, I'm glad that this came up because I need to read that book about the empath's guide to survival. I will tell you, I really feel like all of the listeners that you and I interact with, I feel like are all empaths, as are
Yeah.
you and I. It's just,
Yeah.
like minds come together.
Yep.
But I love this, and this is proof again that when you think like, or what do I do, or I don't have the power to do anything, or I'm not important enough, or I
Mhm.
don't have enough of a reach or an audience, or this just goes for anything in life. This includes being an artist on any level,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Just put things out there because by God, it just takes touching one person.
Sure.
So this and I'm sure other people have read it too, but
Yeah.
this listener heard you saying that, it resonated with them, they got the book, and this really helped her.
Yes.
So
Y'all,
this
I didn't even know
is amazing.
I didn't know I was an empath until I read that book. And I'm
Mhm.
not as deep as some people are. Like, I don't think I'm real close to letting it damage me sometimes. So I
Yes.
have to keep it in check. But
Sure.
before I read that book, I wouldn't have labeled myself as an empath.
See?
It's interesting. Let
Mhm.
me read you a little summary about Fair Play real quick, and then
Do
we'll
it.
move on because I know we're dragging.
Yes.
But so it's a Reese Witherspoon Hello Sunshine book club pick. So it's not
Hmm.
just me saying, "Hey, this might be good." A lot of other people think it's good. Let's see. It's a hands-on, real talk guide for navigating the hot button issues that so many families struggle with.
Hmm.
Tired, stressed, and in need of more help from your partner? Imagine running your household and your life in a new way. And then I won't read the rest of it, but you can look it up.
That's
I've got it
great.
on audiobook, yeah. Rebalancing your home life, reigniting your relationship with your significant other, and reclaiming your unicorn space, as in the time to develop the skills and passions that keep you interested and interesting. Ooh, I like
I
that
think
because
everyone can benefit from that.
yeah, so that's Fair Play if you wanna check that out. Empath's Guide to Survival is wonderful. I'm so glad that that Sarah was able to, like, implement some
Yes.
of that in such a positive way in her life because I'm sorry, moving is so
Oh my god.
stressful.
Yep.
So, I'm glad. I'm glad that that was helpful. Yay, thank
Absolutely.
you so much for writing in, Sarah, that was amazing, and it also gave me a chance to
Indeed.
I've been reading that book for a couple of weeks now, and I hadn't mentioned it, so it reminded me to bring that up. Yay!
Love it.
All right. Should we move on to well, what we have to take a cleansing breath.
Yes. Yes,
um,
we do.
so we like to kind of rant out the things. Sometimes they matter, sometimes they don't. But honestly, all of it matters. Are you putting on a
Mhm.
mask?
I'm just, for safety.
Is it
Just
Golden Girls?
kidding. It's my Golden Girls mask. It's my Golden Girls mask. Shady Pines, ma. Back in St.
Uh,
Olaf.
where'd you get that?
Alan's coworker made it for me.
Oh my god, I love
I
it.
know.
I'm so jealous. I will still wear a mask like that. Like I have several cute fabric
Oh,
masks
yeah.
that I love. I just put them over my N95.
Yes,
It's a
100%.
it's a style choice at this
I
point.
also think I might start wearing them when I am dusting.
Oh, that's smart.
Look at
Oh my
Dorothy,
god,
my
it's so
spirit animal.
cute.
Uh-huh.
Ah, I love
It's
it.
actually amazing fabric because it legit looks like them. It's
It
not just like
does.
in their likeness, it looks like them.
It does. I love that. Um, all right. Well, let's take our cleansing breath
Let's
because
do it.
we take a deep breath in, we blow out all the negativity, and it gives us a
Mhm.
chance to fill up with some funnies, some good news stories, some charity
Yes.
organizations. Here we go. Scream it out if you can. It feels good. If you can't,
Mhm.
please breathe with us. It will make you feel better.
Yes, it will.
Okay, deep breath in and ah,
Really quick aside,
mm,
because we are always wanting everyone's health to be on the up and up. I get really panicked when I'm sick. I know I come off very aloof and like a sloth, but it's because I'm fighting so much anxiety inside 24 hours a day. And when I get sick, I get very fight or flight, and my blood pressure was through the roof last week when I first got diagnosed with COVID. Thank God
Ew.
last night it was back to normal where it should be. I'm
Good.
so grateful. But my pulse and everything was going crazy. And I did a lot of breathing because it dropped 20 points.
Whoa.
20 points just for me trying to center myself. So do it.
Wow.
Please, if you're ever stressed or anything, even sometimes, you're busy or you're on a deadline. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I haven't taken a breath, literally, even if you're in a good mood, but you're like frantically trying to get something done.
Yeah.
Breathe, 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 breathe with us.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's like science right there. You saw it in
100%.
front of your face.
Science!
They blinded me with science.
I love that. Okay, you're up
Thank
first for
you.
corners, right? Yep, you.
Yes, 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 yes.
Hey, I on this new microphone, I got this too. Does this make a difference for you? Can you hear that? Can you hear this? Any difference? No? Yes?
No,
No? Oh, okay. Maybe it doesn't
I
work.
cannot.
Oops.
Okay. I will be quick with my corner. We
Please
haven't had
go
one of
ahead and
these
be
in a
quick.
while.
Go ahead and be quick if you want. Please. Ooh, is it
Oh,
magical? See, I can't hear it.
oh, it's totally like echoey, but like
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah,
fun
yeah.
effect way. Oh, I like it.
It's a new button on my new
Just do me a
microphone.
favor and go, is this thing on?
Is this thing on?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Ah,
I'll turn it back down to
I
normal.
love it.
Here comes my new toy.
Amazing. This is a golden oldies.
Oh.
And this is about America's oldest park ranger.
Okay.
This comes to us yesterday, April 3rd, from CNN, from Zoe Sottle. Betty Reed Soskin, the National Park Service's oldest active ranger, retired on Thursday, just a few months after celebrating her 100th birthday.
Oh my gosh.
So I need to see this. I always need a reminder when I want to feel sorry for myself, or I'm tired, or I'm already doing a lot. This beautiful lady, and look at her. Look at
Oh
that face.
man.
100 years old, serving our parks. One of
That
the most
is
important things we
amazing.
have in this country.
Good for
Ah, she's so
her.
great.
She looks tough.
It's great. I love it.
Yes.
Soskin spent over a decade working at the Rosie the Riveter World War II Homefront National Historic Park after joining the service full time in 2011, according to a statement from the NPS. The park, located in Richmond, California,
Oh.
aims to highlight the work and experiences of American civilians on the World War II homefront. To be a part of helping to mark the place where that dramatic trajectory of my own life combined with others of my generation will influence the future by the footprints we've left behind has been incredible. As a park ranger, Soskin led public programs with visitors and shared her own personal experiences of World War II. And she worked to highlight the untold stories of African Americans and other people of color during the war. Being a primary source in the sharing of that history, my history, and
Mm,
giving shape to a new national park has been exciting and fulfilling. It has proven to bring meaning to my final years.
come on.
The NPS lauded Soskin's accomplishments on Instagram, writing, "We are grateful for Betty's lifelong dedication to sharing her story and wish her all the best in retirement."
Aw,
Can I get an
yay.
amen?
Yes. I love
Thank
that.
you.
That's so meaningful.
How sweet is
Yeah,
that?
I really love that. I have often thought about, should I change gears and become a forest ranger? Um,
I
because we have
thought that the
so
first
many
time I went to a national park.
yeah, because we have so many beautiful national parks around us. And then I went to the Salton Sea with my
Yes.
dad, and the poor young guys that were manning the booth there, it's so stinky and it's so hot and they have no air conditioning and they look so miserable. I was like,
Oh.
"Nope, not for me. This is exactly where I would get stationed." They'd be like, "Put that wackadoo in that stinky booth. Nobody wants to work with her."
Oh my
They
god.
had to have been miserable. It was
Of
so hot
course.
and it stunk so bad, but it was such a cool place to go with my
Mhm.
dad and I had a blast. But, like, you walk up to these puddles that you think or it's not even a puddle, you think
Right?
it's just like a creek bed that you can just hop across or whatever, and you get up to it, and then it disappears because it's just fucking bugs. It's just
Oh.
millions of bugs that look like water because it's so stinky and yuck.
Oh,
But it's such a cool
wow.
place. You should look it up. You should
I know.
Google it.
I wanna go. I remember when you guys went,
I'd love
you
to
guys
take you.
had
It's a day
such
trip.
great pictures.
Oh god, yeah. There's all these old cars. People do I'm sure people shoot porns out there. Like, it's weird.
Live from the Salton Sea, the Rants and Raves podcast.
Uh, we would sound like this because it stinks really bad, and I would probably scream every time a sheet of bugs took off.
Yes.
But
Oh
it
my
was
god.
absolutely amazing to witness.
Mhm.
And to see the history, it was like this booming place. It was Palm Springs. Everybody had
Yep.
vacation homes and boats, and then everything went to poo-poos.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that was a big, failure on the
yeah, yeah,
part of, the people who developed that.
indeed. It's an interesting story if you ever want to look it up. But
Mhm.
anyway, no park forest ranger for me because I could see where it was going for.
Okay, but I will throw this out there to you because I used to do this. Now, it's not a national park, but it's still something that I treasure so much. And I'm like, you know what? I need to look into doing something, even if I can only do it a couple of times a year. You should, because you are near the incredible Japanese
I
gardens that we
am,
have
but they're
here.
not fully open right now.
Yeah. But when things are, look into being a docent or a volunteer. And I'm not joking. Some
Oh,
places will even just have a day or whatever. But I used to do it. I think I did it once a month and I did it 12 months a year. I used to be a docent at the Virginia Robinson's Gardens in Beverly Hills.
oh
It's an
wow.
incredible estate and property that was bequeathed to the city of Beverly Hills with a lot of stipulations. And it's not somewhere you can just drive up. You have to have an
Mm.
appointment and whatever. But I was a docent and I did the elementary school tours. And
Aw.
Dana, you would be so perfect for that. And it gave me such joy. You volunteer your time, it's not a paid position. I
Yeah.
love kids. I love being outdoors in any capacity. And it was actually like one of the highlights of things that I've done in my time in Los Angeles. And I
I
like
love that. Well,
thought
you
about
and I have talked more than once about how when we're old ladies, you and I are gonna be docents at, like, the Getty or
yes.
something.
Yes. But
I think
you with your love of plants
I
and
love plants.
expertise, come on.
I love plants so much. I
Yes.
think it's pretty clear. I was talking to my dad last night, and he was like, "Yeah, your journey with these plants is pretty crazy. You got so into it." I was like, "I did. I know. I obsess over people and things.
I love
If I
it.
love you, I really love you."
Also, this is a very healthy and good thing to become obsessed with. So
I
you
think
can pat
so.
yourself on the back too.
Aw,
Some people took to booze and drugs or things to excess that were harming them.
yeah.
And you are beautifying your living space and your outdoor area and getting more oxygen. So that's a win win.
Thank you, Jessica.
Seriously.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud. Oh, you wanna see my newest baby?
Yes, I do.
Remember, this is like a serpens succulent or something like that? I don't know, but it's so cute. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can
It
see
looks like
it.
a little snake braid.
Okay, love
He's so cute in
it.
this cute little pink gingham pot.
That's adorable. That's
There's
so
a
springy and happy.
I know, there's this wonderful woman over on, I believe, Cahuenga towards the Costco over there in
Mhm,
Burbank.
mhm.
Um, just between 2 buildings, been there for years and years since I moved here.
Ooh.
They bring in succulents and cactus from Arizona, different places. Their family has land.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's amazing and so cheap, and she's so lovely. Anyway, I don't know why I'm doing an advertisement for a plant store right now when we have a show to finish, but so are we ready to move on to my corner?
Yes.
I love my corner. It's actually a good transition because
Mhm.
my corner is one that we like to call what the what? I have seen this picture before and it never ceases to amaze me. So, one of our listeners sent us a post, I believe it was on Facebook. It's Amazing World. You may have seen it. In 1960, David Latimer planted a tiny garden inside of a large glass bottle and sealed it shut. He opened the bottle 12 years later in 1972. 12 years that thing was closed. Okay, to add some water and then sealed it for good. The self contained ecosystem flourished for nearly 60 years. For those who are wondering how this is even possible, the garden is perfectly balanced and self sufficient ecosystem. The bacteria in the compost eats the dead plants and breaks down the oxygen that is released by the plants, turning it into carbon dioxide, which is needed for photosynthesis. The bottle is essentially a microcosm of Earth. And there's a picture we'll post it probably in
So
our social media.
cool.
He's such a cutie anyway, and it's this giant bottle, and it's a completely self-contained biosystem, and I love it so much, and I have a few of those. Now,
Mhm.
mine are not 60 years old. Um, but I do have one small one in the front window of my house
Mhm.
that I have not opened. It is 3 years old, and I think I've opened it twice, and
Unreal.
it
Is that
is
the one with the Lone Ranger that I'm obsessed with?
no, no, Lone Ranger had to get some trimming. Lone Ranger was really out of control. But this smaller one, I'm just letting it be out of control. There's something
Mhm.
wild and fun about it. There's a headless wedding couple in there.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
I'm a weirdo.
No, that is so cool. I love it.
And sometimes it just depends on, like, how the vegetation is dying out. Sometimes you can see them, sometimes you can't. There's just something about it I love. It's
Mhm.
magical to me. And then now the Lone Ranger terrarium, I noticed, may have it may be a complete biosystem, not just an ecosystem. There may be a couple of little roly-polies in there, I'm not sure, because I harvested some things from the wild. And there is a guy in the
Ooh.
UK who has many. He buys thrips? Is it thrips? No, that's a pest.
Hmm.
I didn't know there were so many different kinds of roly-polies. Is that what
I
you
didn't
call them?
either.
Some people call
Yes,
them
I
pill
love
bugs.
them.
They're
I call them
actually
roly-polies. I don't
me
like
too.
pill bug.
I don't like that, and I don't like wood lice. That's also another name for them.
Excuse me?
I know, it's weird. But
No,
anyway, they
roly-poly.
thank you. They can live very, very happily in a really nicely set up terrarium.
Ooh.
Yeah. So anyway, that was interesting to me. I love my terrariums. They give me peace. I like working on them. Um,
They're so
you can
cool.
they're so fun and they're so literally you don't have to do anything to them. They just sit there and be pretty for you.
Did mine die because I opened it? Because you made me a little one
Mm.
that's so cute, and it
Was it a
died.
teeny tiny one or was it a
Yes,
little
one of
jar
the
one?
little tiny
So
apothecary jar with a
I
lid.
think those are temporary. Mine is still
Hmm.
alive, but I had a couple that were not. Now the
Hmm.
little jar one, I'm learning different kinds of moss because sometimes
Mhm.
moss will get too tall and you'll have to cut it.
Yep.
And I'm like, how often do I want to be cutting the grass inside my terrariums? So anyway, it's just magical. I love that somebody sent us that. I love that that man
Yes.
has kept that. I pray to God it goes to someone in his family that's going to love and appreciate it
They
because it is
better.
impressive. I mean, it's huge.
They better.
Did you know that I have a song about photosynthesis?
One that you found online or that you've written?
No, one that was written for me
Oh my god.
that I sang and recorded.
Would you like to play it for us or
Would
sing it?
you like to hear just a little piece of it?
Yeah.
It's apropos because it's about photosynthesis. Are
Of
you ready?
course.
Okay.
Cute.
You take sunlight and chlorophyll, a substance in all green plants. Add water and mix it up. with carbon dioxide gas. Wow, there's more. Plants take water from the soil and CO2 from the air. And then the photosynthesis starts to work from there. We got photosynthesis. Can you even handle this? We got photosynthesis. The reason why life on Earth exists. All right, I'll stop it there.
Dana? That is adorable. Did you see my face?
Bop. I'm telling you, we shot it last weekend with puppets. There are puppets with singing lines.
Oh my God.
It teaches children about photosynthesis. The Broadway Babies show wrote that song for me. It's so good, and you cannot get it out of your head. Like
I'm not
the end of
blowing
it,
smoke.
the end of it is such a bop. Like photo, and they're singing, "I can't handle it. I can't handle it." Like it's the cutest.
That just made me so happy. And I was like this.
I do not profess to be a singer, but that song
you can
makes
sing,
me
girl.
happy.
Yes.
It's educational. It's cute.
Everybody needs that.
I love it.
Oh my God. I'm so excited about this.
I just thought, well, this is a good chance to share because we just talked about photosynthesis and carbon dioxide.
Of course.
So be on the lookout. We're hoping to have an episode finished by June. We'll see.
You will.
It's it's just filled with love, and I love it.
Oh my God.
That's
you know what else you can do to reward yourself with?
Buy a plant
for all this hard work. Well, that goes without saying.
What?
I think maybe now you and I, when I'm better, need to have a little movie night.
Oh, sure.
So that you can experience Grease too, since I know you weren't allowed to. I thought you weren't allowed to see it.
We had it on VHS.
But I thought Mama did not approve because every song is about sex.
No, she fast forwarded the sex songs.
Which is every song.
Well, depends on how you look at it.
Except for Behind My Charades, the most boring song that Michael Carrington sings.
She made us watch that over and over because
I hate it.
She would go, look at his eyes when he looks up. Look at those eyes when he looks up.
He is a dreamboat.
Yeah, but is he a jerk? Because where'd he go?
No. But Dana, have you still never heard the song Reproduction from Grease 2?
Reproduction.
Make my statement go berserk.
I watched it secretly. I'm a sneaky hobbit. Are you kidding?
I don't think they even know what a pistol is. I got your pistol right here. Where does the pollen go?
Blow. Yeah, I know it. I also know.
Can we please watch it together?
For your country, the red, white, and the blue. Let's do it for our country. Our country needs you. Something like that.
Our parents will approve.
Approve. That's right. We had to fast forward that song too.
It's Uncle Sam who's asking.
Listen, I got in trouble at the burlesque show the other night for being a little extra. Here's something that I think people need to know about me. Yes, on the outside, I do look cherubic and I do look innocent and I try to follow rules. But I gotta tell you, on the inside, I sneaks those horror movies. I sneaks Benny Hill show.
Me too.
And sometimes I say words like pussy. I'm sorry. I'm a bit wilder than people think. I'm not milk toast like they labeled me at UCB.
What?
Yeah, they told me I was milk toast, a little milk toast. I'm like, I'm really dirty. You have no idea.
Milk toast?
Yeah.
That makes me I'm not laughing because now I'm livid. That is the weirdest, most inaccurate description of you that I've ever heard.
I mean, that was during the time when I thought it was funny to say, maybe if you were nicer and picked that scab off your twat, people would talk to you. Like, I do have a dark side. Like, I don't pull it out in public with older women at a restaurant or anything, but it's in there.
Milk toast. Dana Powell.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Not really. Not really.
Oh, that really burns my britches.
Whatever.
Seriously, how ridiculous.
Yeah, I can.
You know what I used to listen to in secret?
What?
Morris Day and the Times album. And yes, folks, it was an album ice cream castles?
I don't know that.
Well, there was a whole song that was a whole lot of moaning and groaning, and
Oh,
I would listen to it, like, with the volume down in private because I didn't want my parents to know that I was already fantasizing about sex at that age.
hilarious. I got in trouble a lot as a little kid for playing doctor. Like, my parents were terrified. I showed my privates for tradesies to a boy under a bridge in preschool, so yeah.
Like, probably the reason I'm so cherubic is because my parents were like, "Dear God, put a lid on that girl!"
I'm dying. My parents actually had no constraints as far as sexual content, but if it was a horror film, that was off limits. It's like
Hilarious. I
everything
wanted
else
all of
is
it.
fair game, but not a horror film.
I wanted all that excitement.
Mhm.
I used to watch Benny Hill late at night secretly on a little black and white TV, and I wasn't watching for the comedy. I didn't
I
understand. I
love
was
it.
like, "I can't wait to see those pretty girls in the arches dancing all sexy."
Okay.
I just thought they were the coolest.
Yes.
I
Oh
know.
god, this
It
is
was
amazing.
yeah, real peek into Dana's brain, isn't it?
I
"Oh,
used
she's dirty."
I used to legit fantasize about having sex with John Travolta's character from Welcome Back, Kotter, and I'm not gonna tell you how old I was because you're gonna wonder what happened to me, and nothing, thank God, but it's not
Oh
okay how young I
my
was.
god, that's
Mhm,
hilarious.
mhm, mhm.
Well, I've
Yeah.
told you before, my first crush, or one of my first crushes, was Scotty from Star Trek. The old man.
That's the cutest, most wholesome thing ever, and
I
now
thought he was so handsome.
you don't need to be embarrassed by that. I need to be embarrassed by mine. You know who mine was? You're
Who?
gonna fall out of your chair. Doc from The Love Boat.
Oh my!
Ah!
You liked him smart.
Doc? Not even Gopher or Isaac for crying out loud, but Doc?
Doc. I mean,
Dr. Adam, I don't even remember his last name with his glasses and his comb over. Are you kidding me?
well, we didn't have a lot to choose from in those days.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This
All right. Oh
You
my god,
guys, we've really gone off the
we've gone
I'm
off the
telling
rails.
you, I have come out of my COVID cage. I'm still in it,
Yeah.
but mentally I'm out of my COVID cage and I'm
Well,
ready to
that's
roar.
good.
I know. Well, it's thanks to you.
Oh, I'm glad.
Okay, we'll move on to raves. This is also from our listener who sent us an incredible. Don't ever be scared, you guys. We say it every week. Don't say, "Oh, I've already written in," or "This is too
No, 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 no,
long."
no.
Send us a novel. We'll read it. Okay. We
Mhm,
live for this. I will
mhm.
remind you again our dear sweet Lennis sends us a recap of
I love it.
things that he likes and relates to every single week after every episode. And we're here for it. We love
Absolutely,
it.
because it makes us feel like we're not just, like, throwing stuff into the ether and
Yes.
nobody ever hears it.
It's fantastic. So this is really amazing and very special. And I love this as far as when we have like a very personal rave, right? But I thought this was wonderful for people to consider in their own community. This is from our listener, Sarah. And she said, "My sister is a counselor here in Austin and has expanded her practice to her own location. First of all, congratulations. That's a huge step.
Yes. Amazing.
Since the pandemic and all the social justice issues that rose from it, she decided to lend her office out to a person of color counselor for free so that person can charge less from their clients who are also people of color."
Wow.
Sh- First of all, outstanding.
Yes.
Okay. How generous. She still pays for the office and such, but they have different schedules that don't overlap. So it works out for both of them and is still helping the community in a huge way. She's starting to expand into doing little trainings, thoughtfulness posts. So I wanted to bring up her website. It's vanessarosage.com, VANESSAROSAGE.com. And her new Instagram, instagram.com/elemental_liberation, where she will post videos, workshop stuff, and features someone that helps her community every Friday. People should definitely check out her stuff. Obviously, I'm biased. She's my incredible sister, but she also deserves it and is legit trying to make the world a better place for everyone of all types and all kinds.
Oh, I love that.
I love it. This is what we're here for. I even
Absolutely.
love how cute and candid her photo is of
So
herself
cute.
on her
Yeah.
site. And when you go to her website, it says, I'm a trauma and attachment focused therapist in Austin, Texas that supports personal and community transformation.
Wow. I love that.
So I love it. Please go to her site, read about it. She accepts all kinds of insurance and private pay, which I imagine is for people who don't have insurance. Um, Also, this is something I think is really cool, and I have never noticed this. And I think this is phenomenal. More of this, please. There is a badge at the bottom of her website
Mhm.
on the main page that says, This practice is inclusive and welcoming to all
Yay.
genders, races, countries of origin, sexual orientations, religions, and abilities.
I
This
love
is
that.
where the world needs to be in 2022.
I mean, I'm sad that it has to be posted so that people know it's a safe place. Like, I would
Yes,
like us to get to a point where that's not even a question,
absolutely.
but the fact that we're not there right now, and the fact that that's on there and posted just makes my heart swell.
And you guys, Dana says this every week. Please send us a rave about yourself, about
Yes.
your family member, your
Yes.
friend. This is what we're here for. And this is absolutely just inspiring and fantastic news to share with people. And if you're in the Austin area and if you or somebody else needs a therapist, check this lady out. And just based on what I've read on her website and looked at and with her Instagram, if she's not the right fit for you, I guarantee you she's the kind of person that's going to make sure you find somebody that is.
Totally. I love
So
that.
thank you so much, Sarah.
I love it.
Yeah.
We're gonna close out with my rave, which is also from Sarah, because Sarah gave us a lot of good content this week, and we
So
wanted
good.
to share it and not get lost in the maelstrom. So I'm just gonna read this. Here we go. In one of the episodes from December, I believe y'all brought up something about birds in major cities. I'm sure that we did. We've talked about birds several times.
Mm,
It sparked my memory, and I wanted to recommend a Tom Hiddleston narrated documentary on Apple TV, Earth at Night in Color. Now, I have watched
hmm.
some of these. I haven't watched that one specifically, but like
Ooh, I
I've watched
haven't.
different ones like Earth at Night type things. They're unbelievable. So I will definitely watch this. It's a beautifully shot documentary, and there are episodes for each animal they cover. It's so educational, but also so mesmerizing to watch. But the reason I brought that up was because in season one, episode 5, they actually cover the topic of how big cities at night throw off visuals for birds. And
Mm,
oftentimes we'll run into windows and so much more, often due to the reflections. It's incredibly sad, but it is worth listening to and hearing how our actions affect nature around us.
mhm.
Totally. The whole docuseries is awesome. You can listen to Tom say jaguar for the entire episode. It was a blast. I wonder if he says jaguar.
Or Jaguar.
Jaguar. Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, and then, this is mentioned again, and I'm just gonna read it again because I feel
mhm.
like it needs to be mentioned in case somebody needs to hear it. Next, I wanted to let Dana know that I've officially listened to the audiobook version of the Empath book she's talked about a few times, which again is an empath's guide to survival. We had some Audible credits building up, so I finally got to use one on it. I love that that's what she's using. Like
Yes.
that's so good because it's self-care. I am like,
Is there another edition of The Witcher out yet?
I'm such a nerd.
Ah, The
Uh,
Witcher.
I was listening to it on my long walks on the weekends, and good golly, I've never felt more seen than when listening to that book. It's one
Mm,
that I believe I'll listen to probably every 6 months. I have books like that too. I love it. Or so, just to remind myself what I actually need from the energy what I actually need from the energy around me and how to handle more difficult situations with more grace. I appreciate so much you recommending that. So thank you so much for bringing that up. I'm glad that it helped you. You know, it was recommended to me by a friend. It just keeps blessing people on and on. Even if you don't think you're an empath, you might be surprised how much things around you affect you.
Mhm.
Um, and maybe you might need to learn how to put some boundaries up to protect your own mental health and how you deal
Mhm.
with others. It's just a great read. Even if it doesn't apply to you, it might apply to your children or to your friend. Who knows? Anyway,
Absolutely.
Jessica,
Dana.
I think that's our show.
I can't believe it. I think it is.
Do you wanna tell people one more time how to get a hold of us?
Yes, please be like Sarah and write into us. Also, Sheila, I don't remember if we said your name or not. I apologize. Thank you for sending us the great What the What corner.
Indeed.
Find us on Instagram and Facebook at the Rants and Raves podcast. You can find us on Twitter at raves_the. You can send us an email directly at any time, the Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com, or go to our website, hit the contact button, www.therantsandravespodcast.com. Thank you.
Oh, you just tipped your hat. Your
Mhm.
imaginary hat. I love it.
Indeed.
Well, Jessica, are you watching anything we need to know about?
Oh man, I just finished season 2 of Raised by
Oh, did you?
Wolves.
I've only watched one episode. I didn't get hooked. I don't know why.
It's weird. Okay, it is. It's sci-fi is not my one of
See,
my
it's my
favorite
jam.
genres.
I love it.
Then I think you need to give it
I need to
another
get it
try.
in there, yeah.
It's really interesting. So if you guys don't know what it is, Raised by Wolves is about like, the future times, and it is about really like non-believers versus believers. So it's
Mm,
like atheists versus people who believe in, I don't even remember what the name of what they call this god, but like
mhm,
this being. And there are two androids, but they look like
mhm,
humans, and they are sent with children to this planet to try to raise children, to keep the species going that are these people are atheists. And then there's also like the colonization, and there's people that are believers and all that. I'm doing a really crappy job as usual with trying to entice you or describe it, but it is shot in South Africa,
ooh,
and there's a tree called, and pardon my pronunciation, the baobab, Baobab. They are so cool. And I kept staring at it and I'm like, those kind of look like baobabs. And then I finally watched the full credits one night. I'm like, well, of course it is. They film it in South Africa. I think that's the
wow,
only place on earth they're found, maybe South Africa and Madagascar, like that region. They're
wow,
these tall, thick trunk trees that really only sprout out at the very top. They're
uh-huh,
quite magical and mystical looking. They're not like
wow.
anything you've ever seen in North America or Europe, I can assure you. Um, Definitely check it out. Everybody's really good on it, and it's really interesting. I don't know, I'm hooked. It's a really great show. So
Hmm,
I watched the last one of those last night, and have you seen the show Someone Somewhere?
no.
It's really phenomenal. I feel ignorant now that I'm saying that. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, Someone Somewhere. I also couldn't tell you for the life of me who any of the actors are, but one of the women is a stand-up comic. Never seen her, never heard of her. It's phenomenal. Alan watched it and he loved it as much as me, and we are both hooked, and I'm really, really hoping it comes out. Yes, I am correct. Someone Somewhere. It came out this year. It's a dramedy. I'll give you a quick synopsis. Sam, a true Kansan on the
Mhm,
surface, struggles to fit her hometown's mold, grappling with loss and acceptance. Singing as her saving grace, and leads her on a journey to discover herself in a community of outsiders who don't fit in and don't give up. It premiered January 16th of this year on HBO. It's also set in Chicago. It has an incredible cast. The lead is Bridget Everett.
mhm.
And again, I've never seen her or heard of her. Apparently, she does stand up and is great at that. That is on par with Work in Progress, which again, I'm devastated is canceled after 2
Yeah.
seasons. Check out Someone Somewhere. It's a 30-minute show, so you can watch it in quick doses. Every time we turn it on, we're like, let's watch another one. It's really good, and it's very just relatable and real. It's just
Nice.
a slice of life, as we used to call it in college.
I love that. Makes me a
Yes.
little ashamed to tell you what I was watching.
Absolutely not. To each his
Um,
own.
well, there's a little app called the ID Discovery app, which is the
Hmm.
free version of Discovery Plus, but only crime. So,
What?
investigation discovery. And so
Oh.
I don't have Discovery Plus, but I do have ID Discovery, and they released a new, it may not be new, but they put it on there,
Mhm.
Signs of a Psychopath, and I wanna say there's like 6 episodes per season and 2 or 3 seasons
Oh.
maybe. Fascinating, because I didn't realize, you think of psychopaths as, like, people say, "Oh, they're not emotional, they don't have remorse and stuff." Well, they
Mhm.
are emotional. They do have emotional reactions, sometimes anger, sometimes fear, like, whatever. Anyway, it was fascinating because it's all police interviews, and they
Hmm.
kinda dive into how these people's brains work a little bit different than whatever normal is than
Right?
most of society. Anyway, it's fascinating. Trigger warning there. It is they are criminals.
Uh-huh.
They are pretty, not kind to people and
Mhm.
animals. So, trigger warning, but it was fascinating.
Wow. There's nothing to be ashamed with that. I think true crime is probably the number one thing for women in
It
this
is.
country as far as an interest.
It is, and I
So,
listen, my mom used to watch 20 us girls would sit and watch 2020s with our mom growing up.
I still watch it on Friday nights.
Yeah, I watch it on
Seriously,
Hulu.
that's my Friday night thing.
Yeah, 2020 comes on Hulu's on it
I
too.
love it.
Anyway, whatevs. Jessica, I adore
Yes.
you.
I adore you.
I'm gonna try to edit some video tonight, and I have to do it because you'll be editing in place of
Yes.
me, which will make me feel guilty, and I will have to get some videos out. I hope.
I hope so too.
Well,
One can only hope.
well, let's just leave that an awkward ending for
Help me,
everybody.
Dana One Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Don't put your hope in me. I'm not reliable. Do not ever come to me to save the world, you guys. I'm a mess.
Ah,
All right, Jessica, I'm glad you're feeling better. I hate
thank you.
that things got so topsy-turvy for you. I hope that you and Alan were able to enjoy some time together and with family.
Thank you. We really did. And everyone, please be safe. Hold on to your loved ones. And not to be cliche, but we all need to be reminded of this. Life can literally change in a split second.
Absolutely.
So just take what it's worth. Again, it doesn't mean we're not allowed to be sad and mad just because our life isn't as bad as someone else's. We're all allowed to be sad and all of that. But I keep trying to put things in perspective. Like even with COVID and feeling like a caged animal, and I'm like, all I want to do is rage walk. I kept telling myself, I'm alive. I'm
Mhm.
not in the hospital, and I'm not hiding in a bunker with my children, knowing my home has been destroyed.
100%.
So, again, levity, perspective, we can be mad and sad, but I'm grateful to have perspective, and I'm just trying to live my life that way now to
100%.
realize stop it, stop having a pity party. This is not the end of the world. Pick yourself up and go forward. You're okay.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
This is a journey. We're on a journey and it's full of experiences and
absolutely.
some are good, some are bad, but we'll always learn.
Yep. And
So,
reach out. Dana and I have said this. Reach out to someone. Reach
mhm,
out to us, reach out to your friends, reach out to your family. Please reach out to someone. Somebody is there that wants to hear you and help you. And even if it's just an ear to listen and to let you know that you're loved, please
mhm.
do that.
Yeah,
Please
there's
don't try to navigate this life alone because it's not possible.
no, and also don't feel guilty if you have to reach out. People are willing to hold space for you.
Absolutely.
There is someone willing to hold space for you, I promise.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love you, Jessica,
I love you too.
and I guess we'll be back again next week.
I guess so.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.